1 right now at Caesars Sportsbook to go number 1 overall. Aiden Hutchinson, the favorite, at -300, and he goes number 2 to the Detroit Lions. We've seen some mocks that have the Lions really stretching for a quarterback here. You think there's any chance they do that with this first-round pick?
I don't. I don't think they're going to take a quarterback. I've been dead set against it all along. Just my intel tells me that they're not going to take a quarterback. And they have so many other needs. They feel they can play with Goff. Is he the long-term answer? Probably not. But there's also a scenario where they could take Hutchinson, say if Hutchinson was here, or Walker, a pass rusher, because they need a lot of help rushing the passer, take one of those guys here in this spot and come back and get your quarterback at the back end of the first round. If one of those guys fell, maybe Matt Corral, or particularly I think Desmond Ridder, if he fell, he's a possibility at the back end of the first round. So in this scenario, I think they take Hutchinson.
Yep, no, I'm with you on that one. I would take Hutchinson first overall, but here at number 2, I would take an edge rusher and probably Travon Walker. It's what I did in my latest mock draft. But the point remains, you don't need offensive line help here. You're not going to take a quarterback this high with this draft class. If we're talking Trevor Lawrence or Joe Burrow in this class, and obviously that changes the math, but those guys aren't walking through that door, so to speak. So I get the pick here. It makes a ton of sense. Aiden Hutchinson is a local guy in that he played at Michigan and had a fantastic senior season. It all adds up. You mentioned Desmond Ridder at the bottom of the first round. You and I have talked about this for a while, Pete, and I'm sure we'll talk about it over the course of this hour. I don't get the first-round buzz on Desmond Ridder, but a year ago you didn't get the first-round buzz on my guy, McCorkle Jones. So we'll see how this unfolds.
Save that thought for a little bit later, because we will be talking about Desmond Ridder in Pete's first round, because he has him drafted somewhere here in the first round.
It's at 32. Pete, last week you did not have them taking a quarterback. At the time you said if there was one, it would be Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder's already gone. You're still not going with a quarterback in this position.
No, because the only option I think here would be Sam Howell, and I don't think they're going to do that. So what you do is you come back, get a wide receiver. I think Treylon Burks is a big-time player at Arkansas. He put up big numbers in a good league. The concern with him, and I was talking to some receiver coaches this week, how's he going to hold his weight in check? Because he has a tendency to get a little big, and when you get a little big, you get a little slower, and that's a concern for him. But if he keeps his weight in check and he's focused all the time, big physical receiver, I think he ran away from SEC corners, so he's fast enough, even though he's not a burner on the clock.
Yep, I'm with you there. He ran a 4.55 at the combine. Do not care at all. I mentioned Juju Smith-Schuster earlier. That's a good comp. Anquan Bolden's a similar comp. Deebo Samuel's a good comp. And if you like those sorts of players on your team, then I think Treylon Burks is the guy for you. And as you noted, Pete, despite the 4.55 speed, he typically outran everyone he faced in the SEC. So there's a lot to like about his game, and I think he helps Jared Goff out immensely and comparing with Amon-Ra St. Brown coming off that great rookie season. And then you're working with something there in Detroit.
Ryan, really quickly, Pete said he didn't think that they would take Sam Howell in this position. Who do you have going to the Lions at 32 right now?
Samuel H. Howell III. I don't know if he's a third or not, but I'm taking Sam Howell there. Again, it just depends on what they want to do with Jared Goff, who actually played better than we probably all expected a year ago. I like Sam Howell better than most people. I like him a little bit better than Pete. I went back and watched 3 or 4 of his games and was impressed with that. We'll see how NFL teams feel about him. I know there's some teams that wish he'd gone back to school. Clearly he came out, and then we'll find out in 3 weeks now where he actually ends up getting drafted.
I don't dislike Sam Howell. I think he played with a bad offensive line last year and took a beating, but he started seeing ghosts at times, and that's a concern. By the way, Jalen Tolbert's another wide receiver. A lot of guys in the league talking up Jalen Tolbert, who doesn't get any first-round love, and he's a guy that might find his way back into the first round.
I realize we need an I told you so list. We need a Pete Prisco I told you so list every year.
But don't get me wrong, I have Christian Hackenberg on my don't list, by the way. I like Christian Hackenberg.
A don't list and an I told you so list, and we'll revisit it as the year goes along.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.